I have a very big value around lying out loud until it's true, especially if I want to do something that scares me and I'm not sure I can do it. I lie out loud until it's true.
Did you ever have sex with your purity ring on?
Yeah, I wore it like for a long time. Yeah, and I always say there was more diversity in my first apartment in New York City than all of Missouri. You know, actor, author, shameless, oversharer. It's from the chapter called Fuckboy Monsters.
Oh, I know this chapter.
Or I have one chapter called No More Obligatory Blowjobs. None of those, ladies. I try to zoom out and just think we only have a limited amount of time on Earth. And so I don't want to waste any of my days being beholden to a job that robs me of doing the things that I actually love and I actually enjoy.
I am so excited to introduce our last guest for this season of Outside the Bell Curve. Her name is Mattie Jo Cowsert, and she is a shameless oversharer, pastor's kid, and author of God, Sex, and Rich People. She's spilling the tea on evangelical culture, a true Sex in the City meets broad city lifestyle, and most of all, overcoming religious trauma. Being the true theater kid that she was, she moved to New York City and experienced a full 180 thanks to the LGBT community, her Jewish roommate, and most of all, Tinder. Cracking purity culture quite literally wide open for herself. Honestly, her life could be a TV show, which it will be in just a little short time. So if you've constantly questioned what you've been taught, rebuilt your identity, or just love a shameless, loudmouthed girl, which I can say because I know and love her, then I've got a treat for you.
Is this recording?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, so that's basically I had to look up how to do my makeup a year ago because my face has just changed. Like what I was doing before is not working.
No.
And this is what it said. Less is more.
Less is more. I think I'm going to have to switch to Korean skincare. I've been wanting to do it for years and I've just been too lazy to do it. And I just go to Ulta or Sephora and I pick out a few things and I call it a day. But it's not working.
It's not working. Oh my gosh, my whole skincare routine. It's like a whole thing. I had ChatGPT put together a skincare regimen for me, and create a budget. It was absurd. Because basically it was like between microneedling and maintenance products and Botox. It's like $10,000 a year, but monthly, it's $830 a month extra just for my face. So yeah, it's not feasible.
Do you do that?
No. Oh my God, no.
Okay.
I was just asking it to help me. I was like, well, you know what do I need to do for moving forward? Can you put together a plan? Yeah. And it did. And I was like, oh, that's too much money.
But I guess some people do. So you're telling me that some people spend $1,000 a month on their face?
I think they do. Yes. Yeah. With product, I am trying to find cleaner but economical options. And do you use what is that website, EWG or whatever?
I don't.
Do you know what it is?
Some of my skincare is from Trader Joe's. I don't know anything like my hair. Like I have a lot of Trader Joe's products on right now.
Honestly, that's probably
I don't know.
cleanish.
It works for
or
me.
just really strong marketing for
cheap.
Trader Joe's.
I'm just like, I'm already in the store.
Yeah. Let me get this face wash.
What's your curly regimen?
With my okay.
Well, I mean, I'm saying I use Trader Joe's at the moment. I've been using
for
it
your
for
hair
like a few
product
years.
too.
I use the leave-in mask.
Okay.
My white male gay friend got me on the mask. I was taking a bath at his place, and
That's such a Heather thing to say. I was taking a bath at his place.
I don't know why I was. Well, I do know why
So
I was taking a bath.
specific.
We went on a hike earlier. And yeah. Anyways, in his bathtub, I was like, oh, okay. So I tried it. And this was like 5 years ago, and I haven't looked back. It's literally just the Trader Joe's leave-in mask. I use other things too.
That's it?
Sometimes, but all I have in right now is that.
But you do that in the shower. That's not the product.
And then I get out of the shower, and I put it in my hair again. Like I rinse it out in the shower, get out of the shower, put it back in my hair as my product. And I did the same thing in Australia. I found like another leave-in mask conditioner that I liked. Maybe there's long-term damage that can happen here.
I don't think so.
From leaving it in, it says like 3 minutes, and I obviously leave it in for like 4 days.
Yeah, I have quite fine, thin hair, actually.
You have a great hair day, by the way.
What?
You're having a great hair
Oh,
day.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. I washed it this morning. Doesn't usually happen
It
on wash
shows.
day, actually.
I'll have to
So
come smell it later. Welcome to Outside the Bell Curve, a show for those who just can't seem to color inside the lines. I'm Heather, and I talk to folks with cool jobs, wild stories, and a habit of choosing the unexpected. From creative freelancers to digital nomads and anything and everything in between, this is a space for redefining success on your own terms. So let's explore what it looks like to live outside the bell curve. Today we have Mattie Jo. If there's ever been somebody who has strayed really far from the path that she was supposed to be on, it's this girl. She is a proud author, an actor, a pastor's kid, raised in a really evangelical upbringing, moved to New York, still under the guise of purity ring culture, with her purity ring on her hand, ready to give to a husband at 23.
22, 23, all of the willing bachelors wanting to get married at 22 in New York City.
Yeah, and thankfully she found her Sex in the City days and let that kind of go away.
I really need to bring my purity ring to an interview at some point because it's so gnarly.
Is it cute?
Oh, no, it's literally just like the diamond is missing. It's all ganky and like bent up from weight training. The silver is tarnished. I always say it's like very indicative of my purity efforts.
I forget. Did you ever have sex with your purity ring on?
Yeah, I wore it like for a long time. Even after I had lost my virginity, had penetrative sex with a man.
Did you put it just on a different finger?
I wore it on my right instead of my left because it's on your left. It's supposed to be like a placeholder for your wedding ring.
I feel like I felt like hands go around my neck.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Well, you've shifted a lot since those days. Currently, you just did the Yale Innovation Summit. Your pilot has gotten over 1 million views on YouTube, and it's really fun, really good. Very proud. And after reading your book, I think I watched your pilot before I ever read your book because it might have come out before.
It came out. I released it the same week that my book came out. I released it publicly, but it was done. Yeah, I can go through that whole timeline, but it was done before the book.
Well, I'm a slow reader, so I watched that first. And then I read the book and I was like, oh, so I could put like a picture to everyone and it was really good. But yeah, over 1 million views on YouTube. That's no small feat. And everything is in development right now for seeing where things go. So I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So I guess just to say where I am, my spiel, my elevator pitch. Actor, author, shameless oversharer, was a proud purity ring wearer and pastor's kid from Missouri. I practiced a faith that was very important and very personal to me until I moved to New York City in my early 20s to become an actor instead of becoming a wife like I was supposed to. And my entire identity imploded thanks to Tinder and my Jewish roommate. All of my secular world experiences culminated to force me to question my faith, reinvent my sexuality, all while living with and working for the 1%. So it was culture shock from every possible angle. So naturally, I decided to write about it on the internet. So when marriage equality passed in 2015, I decided to share how the queer community was a catalyst for me questioning everything I'd been taught about this Jesus guy in my first publicly released blog entitled God and the Gays. And thus, God, Sex, and Rich People exploring sexuality and spirituality in the city that never sleeps and never stops sleeping around was born. I say that, so it started as a blog. God, Sex, and Rich People started as a blog. And I say it's the sometimes hilarious, sometimes painful realities of figuring out faith, fucking, and the 1%. So I don't know if I can say fucking, but I just did.
We're okay. Yeah.
So that was the beginning. And I just started writing my blog as a fun aside while I was auditioning for musical theater. That's what brought me to New York originally. And for those of you that don't know, commercial theater is really unfulfilling. It's not creative at all. And so writing was something I could do to be actually creative. And but I never considered myself a writer at all. But then it just kind of snowballed. I mean, stop me whenever, but I just was writing, audience building, and then I decided but it wasn't ever intentional. You know, people are like, how did you come up with that title? It's so funny and provocative. And I was like, it was just the three things that made up my life at the time. There was
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's like not intentional at all. I never expected it to become basically, you know, what it is now. It was just fun and was honestly in many ways it was just me showing off to my friends back home that got married.
It's so fitting of you. It's like the three pillars of you. I would throw fitness in there now.
Yeah.
If you redid the book, I would like to describe you, I'd say God, sex, rich people, and fitness.
Yeah, I used to say my Instagram bio used to be faith, film, fitness, and fucking.
Yeah, that's exactly Mattie Jo. Yes.
In a nutshell. Yeah. So then I decided to step away from musical theater in 2017. I actually got my equity card, speaking of the equity building. And then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then that's when I hired a creative career coach, Nicole, and she sort of helped me figure out how to blend all of these things that I really love. I was very passionate about acting. I knew that I loved acting, and I wasn't getting to do much of that in musical theater because I was 5'2" and wholesome as fuck. So I just was always getting cast as a kid. And I was like, this is not it. It's a whole other thing I could get into. I just didn't feel like I could act with musical theater because I was so focused on trying to hit the notes and dance. So I could never be fully present with my acting. And so I just wanted to focus on acting. So it was kind of figuring out how do we carve the Mattie Jo path of her love for writing and acting and blend that together. So then I just started focusing on camera work and continuing to write my blog and become a better writer, a stronger storyteller. And then 2020 hit, and I finally had time to actually write the book and started the process there. That was a whole process. Ultimately, the book didn't come out until 2024. So it was a 4-year publishing and writing process. In the meantime, I knew that I always had a vision of this becoming a TV show. And so I did take a break in there away from the books to stop writing the book for a second to develop the proof of concept for the TV show. I did everything backwards. Like I didn't have a full pitch. I didn't have a full pilot script. I didn't have a full season 1 panned out, season 1 through 3, none of that. I was like, I have 2 scenes. Here are 2 scenes, and I know that I can build a world around these 2 scenes. And so I just shot those 2 scenes, and I thought this is what I can do with this budget. And so did that in 2021, but didn't release it publicly until 2024. It did have a premiere at the Omaha Film Festival in 2022. We were in final consideration for Tribeca for the Now series. They select 8. We were in the bottom 12, but you can't say that or put that on anything because you didn't get accepted. So I'm just always like, well, we were bottom 12, which is really cool. And you know, that year, like the Duplass brothers were selected for Tribeca. It's really big hitters, right? So I felt very honored in that regard. But was devastated that we didn't get into Tribeca and thought it was, you know, the worst thing. And then in 2024, before my book came out, I was invited to compete at the Yale Innovation Summit, and I ended up winning the pitch for God, Sex, and Rich People as a multimedia franchise. And then from there, my involvement at Yale and in the arts and with Yale Ventures has just kind of taken off. So most recently, I was invited to participate in Collective Connecticut, which is a partnership between Yale and the state of Connecticut with artists in an accelerator program. And then also a theater in Connecticut is sponsoring the development of the One Woman Show. So lots of things happening, all while still babysitting for rich people.
Like working backwards, how did you even, I mean, how does a girl from Missouri who grows up with a dad who's a pastor, I forget, what was your mom's career?
She was a teacher.
Teacher, okay.
Preacher and a teacher.
Preacher and a teacher.
Yeah.
How do you even navigate learning how to come to New York to do musical theater auditions? That's something that I think a lot of people don't understand how that even works. So you come here at 23, you start doing musical theater auditions, jumping headfirst in. and then you're immediately working for millionaires, some
Mhm.
of whom treat you nicely, some of whom treat you a little not as nicely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so my true theater kid fashion, I was a born theater kid, right? I've always loved being the center of attention. I have always loved to sing and dance. I've always been putting on shows for my family. I
Mhm.
remember when I was little, we'd put two spoons together and wrap aluminum foil around the top, and that would be my microphone.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I used to like dress up and do my hair and sing for my family and whatever. So I always had the performer bug.
Yeah.
And then when I was in high school, I went to a performing arts camp. That's actually a really prominent performing arts camp in upstate New York called
Mhm.
French Woods Festival. So another link to rich people. I did not know that was a camp for
Yeah.
rich kids when I went. I was
Especially
just
because, like,
like,
you raised your own money to go, didn't you?
yes. I was like, oh shit, it's $4,000 for 3 weeks. And that was in 2006. So who even knows how much it is now? But yeah, I raised the money to go. It was literally like washing cars out in the Walmart parking lot, babysitting. I put together a raffle because I grew up in Branson, Missouri. So there were lots of touristy businesses and whatnot. So I had to get these businesses to donate to my raffle and I'd sell the raffle. Yeah. And I raised all the money. So I've always sort of had like an entrepreneurial spirit. So
Yeah.
then that camp really changed my life. That was when I was 14, and it was kind of without really having the words for it at the time. That was when I knew that being creative and being around creatives was the call of my heart, you know?
Yes.
And because I grew up with a parents who have kind of also lived outside the bell curve, if you will. They did not take logical paths. Like my dad was a business major and then switched to being a biblical studies major. They were married at 18 and 19 and pregnant by 19. Like they were very, they just did a lot of things. I mean, my mom had like 4 kids while she was going to college. It's crazy. And I don't know how they did it. But so they've always been very much like follow your passion, follow
Yeah.
what you love. So I am grateful that I had that. So then when it was time to go to college, I just thought, okay, I'm going for musical theater. I auditioned for 2 schools. I
Mhm.
got into one and I went to that one.
Right.
So I went to school for musical theater. So that is how I knew how to come to New York and how to audition because we learned that in school. That was part of
Oh,
our
thank God.
curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we learned how to get the proper headshots and all of that. So I did know, but so I knew the I had training wheels, but you can't really know until you come to New
No.
York, right? And
Even
do it.
even those little things like getting headshots and
Yeah.
knowing how to not get scammed.
Yes, yes. And so we did, part of the curriculum was coming to New York as seniors and chatting with casting directors and chatting with agents and getting intel there. So I did have people who were I got accepted to something called Open Jar Institute that is now like a whole ass thing. They like own entire floors on 40
Oh, cool.
48th Street actually. But when I went, it was just a college program.
Mhm.
And so that I had a lot of workshops that I was talking to people in the industry. So I did know a decent amount about the industry before I got here. I also spent every spring break in college visiting New York
Okay.
because I knew I wanted to move here from the first time I visited. So Virgo of me. I put together a 4-year fucking plan,
Yeah,
financially and otherwise, to move here.
I seriously was gonna ask for I don't know signs, but wow.
Big Virgo energy.
Okay, now I know. That's so are Virgos known for planning?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We live by a checklist. Yeah.
I'm a Gemini and I know that
You are big Gemini energy.
I know. What is a checklist? I'm that kid who, and even to this day, sometimes I will write things on my hand.
Heather. That does not surprise me at all.
I did it a few months ago. It was helpful, but I mean, because I end up with like a checklist on my phone, on my
Right.
computer. I leave myself, you know what I do now? I leave myself WhatsApp messages.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah. So you don't
is.
forget things. Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm
Mhm.
trying to get better.
I always say I'm creative, but I'm not chaotic. I'm curated.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm chaotic, but working on it.
Well, I mean, even in our communication, so for the audience, Heather and I go way back. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
get there. But I just know even when you're gonna visit New York, I'm like, this is gonna be I'm gonna put it on my calendar and then I'm gonna bother Heather to know where she's gonna be what day, and I'll just show up.
And it works. It works somehow.
I told Ken today, I was like, yeah, I don't know what Heather and I are going to get up to tonight, but she's always a good time, so I'm sure it'll be fun.
We manage it.
Yeah.
We find something to do, even if it's just walking around.
It'll be great.
We still have to walk from the top of Manhattan to the bottom of Manhattan.
A la Broad City.
Have
you
you
got
done
to do it? I haven't done it.
I have so many girlfriends who
I would
do
do that.
I have yet to do it.
That would, yes.
Okay, so you had a 4-year plan.
Yeah.
Incredible. Basically a 4-year plan to make sure that you would come to New York and not leave poor and be successful as an actor.
So my 4-year plan was literally all I could think was I cannot move back to Missouri. I have a very big value around lying out loud until it's true.
Yes.
So I was starting to tell people, especially if I want to do something that scares me and I'm not sure I can do it, I lie out loud until it's true. So with New York, I was telling people from the second I visited, I am going to move here. I'm going to move here. I'm going to move here. I didn't know how it was going to work before I even knew about like manifesting and all of that. I just started making such a big deal about it. About like how I know I'm going to move to New York and I'm making all these friends in New York and in New York and New York and New York and New York, because I knew if I made enough hubbub about it, it would be so embarrassing to fail at that. Yeah. So I was holding myself accountable in that way.
Good.
So yeah, I basically my goal was to have $5,000 saved by the time it was time to move here, so that would give me at least 3 months to really be able to get my feet under me in terms of getting a job here and things like that. Because the worst thing that could have happened to me was move back to Missouri.
Do your parents know you feel that way?
Yes. I mean, I think it's not because I hate Missouri. I don't at all. I think I've kind of gone, I've come back to appreciate it. Right.
Yeah.
But I lived with my parents for so long, just the 3 of us, that by the time I went to college, I just knew me, Mark, and Val are not good roommates.
Yeah.
I cannot move back. It just won't be good for me. And I had gone through a pretty big breakup. So that was another thing that I felt I could not move back to Missouri. That would be embarrassing. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. I didn't fit there. And I knew I wanted to be here.
What was that culture shock like, going from purity ring culture, being in a relationship with a guy for 4 years, basically? Didn't get married?
It was almost all of college.
All of college.
Yeah.
All of that learning time, sexually, creatively, XYZ. And then you come to New York and you're like, oh, my roommate's gay. People are Jewish and aren't just Christian evangelicals. What do I do now?
Yeah. That was, I think I knew that people in New York were different. That's what I liked about it. You know, it was the novelty of diversity, because Missouri was so homogenous and I didn't like that. However, it was bizarre to be around so many people who were either straight up apathetic about religion or were just different religions. I had never been around non-Christian people. Even the people who weren't practicing Christians were still saying they were Christian.
So when you drove around in your town, you only ever saw churches?
Oh, yeah. They're everywhere. It's like every 5 blocks. There's everywhere.
So, because like where I grew up, I mean, Tempe, like I'd see churches, I'd see synagogues, I'd see temples.
Oh, no, I think
mosques.
we had like one. Oh, we definitely didn't have mosques.
We may have like one, but I definitely had kids in my high school who were Muslim.
Oh, no, definitely not. We had like one black kid. The end. You know, the only other brown kids were like Mexican kids.
Wow.
And there were maybe 3 of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No diversity.
Okay. So that's how you grew up. You got here. You loved that it was diverse.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always say there was more diversity in my first apartment in New York City than all of Missouri. You know, Andrew was Jewish. Amrita was Indian. Christina was Swedish. I was going to
Mhm.
say Norwegian. Yes, but Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So more diversity in that 4-bedroom apartment than all of
Yeah.
Missouri. Yeah.
Wild.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And you lived.
I lived. I survived.
I
Yeah.
survived the diversity. Oh my
Yes.
God.
I know. And
Crazy.
the LGBTQ thing was also, I had kind of gone through that process in college because I had so many queer friends at that point, being in the theater department,
Yeah.
that undoing had already started to I guess take way.
Yeah.
That I didn't think gay people were going to hell. Most of my friends were gay. Honestly, it was hard to find mm, interactions with straight people to an extent. Everyone I was around was
Yeah.
LGBTQ.
Mhm.
So I was kind
Beautiful.
of the minority by being like, I'm very excited about dick
Tell me more.
as a female. My male friends were also excited about
Yeah.
dick. But, you know, so I was definitely the minority there. All my friends were queer. Or still. I have a lot of queer friends.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you navigate? How the hell did you afford to live here on your own at 22? 'Cause I think we forget so many people. Here's my thing with New York. I think people are like, oh, how do you move these places?
Mm,
I moved here with no job. You
mhm,
figure it out. You find a
mhm,
job in the restaurant industry or
mhm,
some type of service industry and you figure it
mhm,
out. I think people are so scared of the thought of moving somewhere without a plan. I mean, obviously you had a plan, but
mhm.
a lot of plans don't go to plan. So
Right.
it goes out the window
Right.
and you figure it out.
Mhm.
So how did you figure it out?
Well, I think first of all, i- qualities that make for being a self-actualized person are tenacity, grit, and confidence. And you build confidence by proving to yourself that you are tenacious and you have grit.
Mm.
Actually, the whole like hopelessness is learned. That's not true. Hopelessness is our default setting.
Hmm.
Or sorry, helplessness is learned. Helplessness is learned. That's not true. Helplessness is our default setting. Mastery and grit and tenacity are learned. And so you have to just do something and prove to yourself that you can. And then it just keeps going, right? Action begets action. And for me in college, I was used to juggling a lot of responsibilities. I was used to time management. I think for a lot of people, particularly theater kids who are kind of the star of the show, when they move to New York, they're suddenly like, what the hell? I'm not just meant to do theater all the time. You're going to make me also have a job and manage having a job and going to auditions and taking dance classes.
Mhm.
And also, I'm not even getting cast, whereas I was not the darling of the department. I didn't even get cast in a musical until my senior year, I think. And so I was used to hearing no by then. And I had 4 jobs my senior year, all working around my schedule, my class schedule. I always had a job while I was in college. So again, I was
Yeah.
used to prioritizing and time management. So that wasn't hard for me when I moved to New York. I had 2 jobs upon moving here, a personal assistant, and I was a hostess at a restaurant. And yeah, I had the $5,000 saved. I also, you'll have to read the book to find out about my first living situation in New York, but I utilized networking because I had come to New York every spring break for 4 years. I did have a solid network here
Yeah.
already that I got to utilize in terms of having a place to live. And I think also I'm likable. And that's an important skill to have
I like you.
if you're going to have success because everything is about networking, everything is about relationships. So you need to be someone that people want to help
Mhm.
because then when something comes up, like I never even used Street Easy until 2 years ago. My last apartment in New York City, I used Street Easy. Before that was all word of mouth.
I mean, yeah, no, I just use Facebook.
Really?
I
Yeah,
mean, back in the day.
I used word of mouth, friends, so everything I got was word of
Yeah.
mouth until my last place.
And then
Which
so
was a
remind us.
nightmare.
Okay, so found the place through word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're nannying
Mm-hmm. Nannying in New York.
in New York. Yeah.
So I think that's another thing about, I don't know, making it is you have to be very humble. And I have encountered a lot of actors or artists who are like, they feel like they're too good for their serving job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this job is not about your ego. This job is bankrolling your lifestyle that you've
Yeah.
chosen.
Mm-hmm.
So it is literally just meeting a need.
Yeah.
And it's not about your value as a person. It's not about your capabilities. It is literally just money helps you do the things that you want to do. That's how I've always looked at jobs. So, yeah, I've had to be the amount of times I've said, I'm not going to take another nanny job. And then I just end up taking another nanny job.
Yeah.
Because the barrier to entry is low. I have a lot of experience in it, and the hours are flexible. Parents really value having someone that they can rely on who is articulate, who is college educated, who has other things going on. Like they really like that kind of energy around their kids. Yeah. So I kind of always know I can find a nanny job. And so yeah, I've just continued to stay in that world. But yeah, when I first moved to New York, I was a personal assistant. I worked as a hostess. I also bartended. And then the way I looked at it is my bartending job was really hard, but I did that Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah.
And then so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I babysat like 4 to 5 hours a day after school because that was really easy.
Exactly.
So I worked 7 days a week, but babysitting didn't feel like working.
How are you going about maintaining, like, you obviously live a very bespoke, creative, different career from many 30-somethings that's kind of outside the norm, and to be blunt, is maybe not the most secure, if I can say so.
Definitely.
How are you navigating that currently?
Yeah. Well, I guess I try to zoom out and just think, we only have a limited amount of time on Earth. And so I don't want to waste any of my days being, what's the word? I don't know, beholden to a job that robs me of doing the things that I actually love and I actually enjoy. And I really believe in what I have going on with God, Sex, and Rich People. I do have the TV show pitch flushed out. I do have this accelerator at Yale. I do have the book. I do have the one-woman show in development. Like, I believe in these things, and it brings me so much joy. I really believe that means I'm living in alignment. And so I'm not willing to give that up for a secure 9 to 5 that gives me health insurance. I'm just not. And so I think about that all the time. My time is really important to me. So I'm always sort of piecing together the puzzles of my values and my priorities.
Yeah.
So right now, the nanny job that I have is 4 days a week, and they're a really cool family. They're very artistic. And so that's very much in alignment. So I just always try to have whatever my job is, look at it as it is just what needs is it meeting. And if it's too stressful, not enough money, I'm always sort of like negotiating that, because the role of it is to just keep me both energetically and financially able to continue doing my creative stuff.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I want to wrap up with 2 things. I want to ask you, what's one piece of advice that you would give to anybody listening, whether it's I mean, you can give sexual advice because you're all about it.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about sex. Except I did say I was excited about dick.
I know. That's nice. It's a good thing to be excited about.
Yeah.
Fitness. I mean, look at those arms. Or acting.
Oh my gosh.
Or something else.
I think one piece of advice. That is so hard. Because I have so many pieces of advice.
Just floating around.
I think the biggest thing is, if you love something, just do it. And if you want to do something, just do it. And then it'll get figured out. Like, just because you work a finance job doesn't mean you can't write that script.
Yeah.
Just do it. It brings you joy. you know? And writing a script doesn't mean that it even has to end up like successful. I do think that is something really quick, if I could say that I very much value not growing up in a very wealthy family, is that I had the luxury of being able to fail.
Yeah.
Kids who grow up in really high profile families don't have that luxury. And all that they do, you have to be Ben Platt or your singing doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like, that's actually not true. Like you can just do something because you love it.
Yeah.
And then if you have big goals, just do it. Just do it. Like I said with my pilot, I did everything totally out of order and it's still coalescing and coming together. So just try something and you will learn by doing.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, in terms of dating and then I guess, personal development, you can't require something of someone else that you don't require of yourself. And I will be honest, that was a big motivator when it came to my fitness.
Oh,
I was like, I can't be over here being like, I want a guy who's like this. And I'm like, I don't even hold myself to that standard,
Yeah.
you know? That was the beginning. It wasn't like the whole thing. But yeah, or like the level of success or financial success or whatever, you have to exhibit and live out the values you say you're trying to attract.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite quote from the book you want to share?
Yes. Let me find it. It's it's not a favorite because I have so many great quotes in this book, but it's from the chapter of called Fuckboy Monsters.
Oh, I know this chapter.
Or I have one chapter called No More Obligatory Blowjobs. None of those, ladies. So I do believe that everyone in most straight women go through a phase of putting up with absolutely abhorrent behavior from men. Probably because we just don't want to like increase our number. And we're like, let me just stick to this one because it's at least one and I'm not increasing the notch on my bedpost or whatever the fuck they say, even though he's a piece of shit. This is about that. Now I don't know where it is.
Oh no, I'm sorry. What was it about?
It was about Fuckboy Monster and how he was a real life like block to goodness in my life. The quote is something to the effect of, I had given him my attention, adoration, and admiration, and all he'd given me is shame, anxiety, and UTIs or something like that.
This is definitely later in the book. I remember
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like after you have like a come to moment.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't know now. I'm like, where did I put it? But anyway, anyways, that was it. That's not my favorite, but it is a good one.
That is a good one.
But that was incredibly anticlimactic. I'm so sorry.
No, it was great. I put you on the spot. No to Fuckboy Monsters.
No to Fuckboy Monsters. A very fun aside of that, if I can really quickly. Fuckboy Monster is a connection to how I was even introduced to this whole Yale thing, because one of his classmates at NYU, because he was a musical theater composer at NYU, so I was in some of his performances. She was the woman who I've been working with at Yale. She was in his class, so that's like how she knew me and how she got introduced to me, and literally just saw all my stuff on Facebook.
Does he know he's Fuckboy Monster?
I am certain he has to know about this.
I think I know. I think I know who this is. Maybe? No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you would. No, you don't know him. It's
Okay.
none of our mutuals.
Okay.
Yeah. But he has to know that this book exists because it's been circulating that community. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Mattie Jo, thank you so much.
Yay. Such a joy.
I always love talking with you about sex, rich people,
So
acting, fitness, all
Yes.
the shebangs,
Yes.
all the good stuff. X-nay some things.
Thank you for having me. If you guys want to buy the book, obviously you can get it anywhere online. Books are sold. Also, follow me at Mattie Jo Cowsert on Instagram. That's where I mostly am because TikTok scares me.
And find her YouTube because that pilot.
Oh,
really
yeah.
is-
The proof of
The proof of
concept. You
concept.
can just do God, Sex, and Rich People, and it's up, and it's very funny. And this
You really
amazing
have the
actor.
capital on that name.
Yeah. I do. It is indeed copywritten. I did actually protect it. I got it protected with the Writers Guild too.
Great.
So nobody else can
thank
have that.
God.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
God.
you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.